As calls to defund the police grow louder across the country, many are speculating on what this means for Joe Biden. One America's Jack Posobiec has more from Washington.
We're very excited to welcome back here to One America News. It's Alex Brusiewicz, the CEO of political consulting firm X Strategies. Alex, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on, Jack.
Now, Alex, we've been hearing these protests that have been going on around the country. We weren't sure what their goal was at first, right? They were sort of just having these mass demonstrations, but a new rallying cry has come out across the country, really, and that rallying cry is defund the police. Of course, in Minneapolis, the city council is voting to do just that. Tell me, what exactly is the defund the police movement?
The defund the police movement is just the new wave, radical leftism, terrorism that's taking over, the Democratic Party. You have radicals like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and AOC who are out there cheering this on. And sadly, tragically for the Democrat Party, it's completely overtaking all of the sane people, and it's going to force people like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and ultimately Joe Biden to hop on the bandwagon of defund the police. And quite frankly, that is political suicide for the Democratic Party.
Now, what's interesting, of course, is that we saw over the course of the primary that those more radical progressive elements were supporting Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders wasn't able to get sort of that critical mass of delegates to become the nominee. And then you sort of saw the more traditional wing of the Democrat Party put up Joe Biden as a moderate. So how does a moderate like Joe Biden deal with something like the defund the police movement?
Like Bernie said in his endorsement of Biden, he's going to stay in the race through the convention. He's going to try to get as much delegates as he can so he can have as much power over the Democratic, ticket as possible. And, the progressive movement, the radical left, is the new Democratic Party. And, Bernie Sanders is going to, make sure that his voice is heard, that the radical left's voice is heard by Joe Biden, the Democrat nominee, and AOC, Ilhan, and Rashida Tlaib. They're not going to let up. All of the radical agendas is going to be, supported by Joe Biden one way or the other, or he's not going to have the support of the radical left-wing nut jobs that are taken to the streets in every major city across the country.
And now you had a piece in Human Events just last week talking about Biden's record on police reform, or as you put it, his lack thereof.
My piece in Human Events essentially just, explained that Joe Biden isn't this, police criminal justice reformer that he's, running on right now. He has one of the worst records of anybody running for president when it comes to race relations since George Wallace. I mean, his, directly following the 1991 Rodney King riots was his response, oh, I'm going to side with Black America and say police brutality is wrong. No, in direct response to that, in 1991, he authored the Police Officers' Bill of Rights, which was essentially, legislation that protected police officers accused of misconduct. And, he had an opportunity then to stand up to police brutality. And then when he was vice president, you had cases like Eric Garner and, Tamir Rice and Freddie Gray and Sandra Bland, all people that were killed by police or in police custody. And what did he do? Did he pass sweeping police reform? No, he didn't. And so now that President Trump is in office, he knows that the media can work with him on the angle that, oh, Trump is responsible for all of these, tragedies that happen. But, the media will never ask him, why didn't you pass sweeping police reform when you were vice president? What did you do then? And the answer is nothing, because he didn't care.
Alex Brusiewicz, X Strategies, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Jack.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.